Hey, it's Robert from Highman ZXC. Here's an OwlHouse tier list of season 1. I'll come back for season 2 later. I just don't want this video to be absurdly long. So, just enjoy me ranking my favorite episodes from sweet, average, bad, and fail. Remember, you don't need 8 tiers. That is excessive. You just need 4 or 3. That's it. So, okay. Lying Witch and a Warden is a nice average way to start the pilot. You know, the show. Then we have it's kind of underestimated, Witches Before Wizards, which seems to have a lot more to do with the show than we first thought. Because, Willow and Gus are kind of the chosen ones. They get the glowing green and purple green and blue eyes, kind of familiar to Marcy and Anne, only it's reverse. We get to meet we're not Amphibia. We get to meet Amity, Willow, and Gus in this. This one's a little bit okay. It's kind of all over the place. Remember, there's 7 people on this storyline. As Crimson Sin would say, Luce is looking at these people like, okay, 4 of you need to go. See, my goodness, you should not have 6 people on a story. 2 or 1 person on a story is probably the best. This was kind of a chaotic mess. Luce and Willow were kind of in the wrong in this episode. Not the good first impressions of Amity, but at least it improved as the series went on. We were just testing the waters. We got to see Ida's cursed form for the first time, the Harpy Ida, the precursor to Harpy Ida. I'll get to reviewing season 2 eventually. I just need to get the motivation to. I'll put Intruder at sweet, because we get to see that Ida was cursed. We got a foreshadow to Lilithfair's cursing of Ida. I still don't like Lilithfair, so I don't care if you like her. She's just not my favorite. This is always good. Luce and Amity patch things up, and this is when I started shipping Amity and Luce. So Ed the Wiz says Amity should be the main character, or Crimson Sin said that. Maybe both of them. I agree. Amity needs to be in more episodes. I don't know if she should be the main character, but that's true. Hey, look, we got a nice even line here. Witch's Duel happens on episode 5. Luce, even though she had no other magical abilities and she cheated, she agreed to this Witch's Duel, which she didn't need to. She just got upset because King had his cupcake squashed by Amity, who eventually turned good. I kind of already knew that Amity was a victim. I never hated Amity, except on episode 3. This is kind of a bad episode. As Crimson would say on the thumbnail, the house comes to life and that's it. This episode should have been called Everyone Was in the Wrong Except Amity. Because Amity was the only one that was in the right. Everyone was saying, oh, Amity was mean to Willow. Actually, she said that to get Basha to stop picking on her, because Basha was picking on her. So to keep Amity, to keep Basha from picking on Willow even further, Amity just put out the statement, leave her alone. It's not her fault she was born without talent. That was a disguise. To disguise the fact that Amity wanted Willow to stop being bullied. It just came out wrong because Amity at this point in time didn't know how to act nice. And this gets an S tier because, of course, this is probably when some of the ship bait already left the station a little bit. Although I already shipped them in episode 5 of Convention. Episode 7 is when they officially became friends, and she decided to say, I haven't been the nicest witch. Good. And okay, so episode 7 was Lost in Language. It was pretty good. And nightmare fueled with that Odabin. They both wanted to be friends. Amity and Odabin both are kind of friendless because they're isolated. This episode fails on so many counts. It's just a normal body swap. That's it. There's nothing more to say about it. We only learned that Ito at one time wanted to join the coven. That's it. There's nothing else to say other than that. This episode's kind of bad. Gus lied to my kindred spirit, Luce, to sneak her into Hexside after she was banned on episode 3. Yeah, no Amity, and we got introduced to one of the most annoying characters besides Basha. That's Allmill. Yeah. Are you saying Matholmil is not your full name? This episode is bad too. King had the dumbest subplot of trying to traumatize people at the playground while Luce took Ida's staff for a joyride and ended up angering the Bat Queen and almost got themselves killed. Yikes. Luckily, they were able to set up a plot point that never went anywhere, that Luce was going to help the Bat Queen find where she came from. Nope, didn't go anywhere at all, because probably the shortening of season 3. This was terrible. King is a jerk, and all Luce wanted to do was just write a storyline. Ida and Lilithfair's side quest was okay. I don't know what the heck that guy was going to do to Ida and Lilithfair, and he's not a basilisk. He said he was going to suck the life out of them, so, yeah. But Ida and Lilithfair are too strong. What was he thinking was going to happen? Oh, and by the way, just King's a jerk. And the way they get out of it, as Crimson Sin would say, some Looney Tunes logic. My goodness. This gets an S tier. Episode, not 11, but episode 12. This was originally leaked. And of course, I watched it early. It was pretty good. Luce learns her second spell to get into Hexside. The snow spell. Thanks to Lightcliff, the Titan is communicating with Luce, which we'll probably find out on Watching and Dreaming, the final 55-minute special. It's going to have no commercials. Thank you, Rebecca Rose, for that informative development. Okay. Yeah, and Luce and Amity strengthen their friendship even much further. It's probably not just a friendship. She said, I have a new crush, and my crush is Educate. I have a new crush, and her name is Education. So she is a bisexual, and I'm all for the bisexual energy. That is my kindred spirit, Luce. This fails. I hate the basilisk. Disgusting creature. There's no redeeming quality. My kindred spirit got sent to detention. There was not one happy shred in this episode, except for Amity going like, just because we go to the same school doesn't change anything. And the episode just went downhill from there. There was no Ida. King barely had somewhat of a subplot that was just annoying. He was just trying to be a teacher. Yeah, this episode's kind of bad. King, I'm upset because Luce is hanging out with his friends more than me and a stupid capitalist pig. Yeah, both of the episodes with the capitalist pig, Tibbles just really kills the episode, and there's just too many montages. We don't really get a good explanation of Willow's power and how she's able to summon it without using a circle. And I would have loved to have seen some of those other versions of Luce in the mirror. All right, this gets an S tier. Understanding Willow. A lot of Willow episodes don't really have much to do with Willow. It's just mainly strengthen Amity and Luce's relationship, which is fine. We get to learn more about her past and why Amity and Willow are no longer friends. And they start to build up their relationship again by going into Willow's mind after Amity sets her mind on fire. And she can blush. Amity blushes. Yeah, that sets up this S tier. Luce and Amity go to Grom. Not prom, Grom. They fight a Grom monster that sees into their deepest fear. hey, neat, it's kind of like episode 15, Understanding Willow, going into someone's mind. In this case, they're mentally traumatized by this. Loses fear is her mom. She disguises as Ida, being the harpy lady thing. And Amity's fear is kind of ridiculous. Her fear is wanting to ask Luz out. You would think it'd be something realistic, like being afraid of her parents. You're afraid to ask her out. If you like Luz, I don't know what to say. Just ask her. Obviously, Luz likes you. We needed some Lumini inks, suspense. Other than that, Scar gets a boyfriend. Nice. Willow doesn't get to do anything, kind of a precursor to what happens in season 2. I'll get to that. In this episode, as Crimson would say, this episode should have been called Bosch of the Bitch. Seriously, this is one nasty, nasty girl. Man, I can't stand Basha. They really didn't do a good job with this character, but luckily my kindred spirit loses a fire glyph on this spell, and we get to rip off Harry Potter because it's the only book that ever exists in the world, and everyone should know Harry Potter, apparently. I don't really follow Harry Potter. In this one, she learns the plant glyph, which is good. She gets to imitate Willow. In this one, she gets to imitate Basha with the fire glyph. I'm surprised there's no abomination glyph in the sports episode. Of course, they lose because the stupid squimmage thing. I don't watch Harry Potter. It's some sort of cheating thing that helps you win every time. In any case, I'll come back to this later on. This video is getting way too long. So this is my list so far. I'll see you in part 2.